Is your board drowning in maintenance requests? That new resident with a 3-page list of urgent repairs? The homeowner threatening legal action over sidewalk cracks? The daily emails about landscaping? Without a proper system, these situations can quickly spiral from minor headaches into major community conflicts. The first step in managing maintenance requests effectively is creating a clear, documented escalation path. Your residents should understand exactly how the process works. Start with customer service for initial requests, not with the board president's personal email or phone. The community manager reviews requests against established guidelines. These guidelines should be developed by your board and clearly communicated to your management company. If residents aren't satisfied, their next step should be directly to the board, never to senior management at the management company. Now, this is crucial. The senior leadership team of the management company exists to support your community manager, who in turn supports your board and residents. Senior leadership should never be positioned as an escalation point for resident complaints. Surprisingly, many residents don't even understand what a board of directors is. Some think their community is run like an apartment complex with a landlord making all decisions. Boards must be explicit in explaining that they are composed of volunteer homeowners from the community, neighbors who have been elected to make decisions on behalf of all owners. This fundamental education can transform how residents approach maintenance requests and understand community priorities. Many residents believe the board is hiding behind the management company and that their concerns never reach board members. Your board must explicitly communicate how residents can escalate issues appropriately. Make it clear that residents can request to be added to the agenda for the next board meeting or submit a written concern to the management company with specific instructions that it be forwarded to the board unfiltered. However, board members should never provide personal contact information or allow residents to contact them directly. If a resident obtains a board member's email or phone number, perhaps through a community directory, board members should never forward these communications to the community manager. Instead, they should return the message to the resident, advising them to contact the management company through proper channels. The same applies to the management company's senior management team. They should never forward resident notes to the community manager, as this trains residents that bypassing the proper channels works. When you see residents copying multiple parties on emails, the community manager, board members, and senior management all at once, this is a clear sign your communication protocol is broken down. The community manager should return these communications to the resident, clearly stating that the communication is unacceptable, will not receive action, and must follow proper channels without copying multiple parties. Now, this may seem harsh initially, but it's the only effective way to restore proper communication, especially with emotionally charged residents or in communities where protocols have been ignored in the past. A critical role of the board is to hold senior management accountable for supporting this protocol. When a community manager returns an improper communication to the resident without action, the board needs to ensure that senior management of the management company stands firmly behind this decision. The board should explicitly direct senior management to affirm the community manager's actions as proper and implemented as per board request. While this approach differs dramatically from typical customer service protocols, it's absolutely necessary to prevent your community from spiraling out of control. Some residents simply will not respect boundaries unless firmly established, and maintaining these communication standards benefits all residents in the long run. When residents bypass the proper channels to contact senior management, it creates serious problems. Senior management may not understand your community's budget constraints, priorities, or resident dynamics. They often assume the community manager just isn't doing their job properly, when that's rarely the case. Worse yet, management company executives may apologize unnecessarily, validate unreasonable requests, or undermine your community manager's authority, all in an attempt to appease the resident. This effectively neuters your community manager in the eyes of a resident who now believes the community manager is wrong and can simply be ignored. Once this happens, your carefully established management structure breaks down. The resident begins to bypass your community manager entirely, creating confusion about who's actually in charge and damaging your board's carefully established community standards. When this proper path is unclear, residents will find their own routes to escalate, creating neighborhood petitions, filing complaints with regulatory agencies, or demanding direct access to management company executives. These situations reflect poorly on your board and damage community trust. Every resident request should receive one of 3 clear responses. Yes, the request will be converted to a work order and completed within a specific time frame. This applies to maintenance issues that fall within scope and budget. No, the request will not be converted to a work order with a clear explanation why. Perhaps it's an individual capital improvement that doesn't align with community priorities, or the issue doesn't actually require repair under your standards. Future consideration. The request will be documented for review during the next relevant project. This response acknowledges legitimate concerns while managing expectations. However, never commit to specific time frames unless you're absolutely certain. This third option is particularly valuable for efficiency. Consider common requests: slightly cracked asphalt, minimally uneven concrete, peeling paint, minor fence damage, or aging but functional equipment like sump pumps. These issues are almost always more efficiently addressed as part of larger projects. You wouldn't want to call a concrete truck for a single square of sidewalk or hire painters for one small section of fence. Project efficiency matters both for cost control and community aesthetics. Each response should be documented, consistent with your community standards, and respectfully delivered. Residents with high expectations can actually be tremendous assets for your community. While their maintenance requests might seem demanding, these engaged homeowners often notice small issues before they become costly problems. Help maintain property values through their attention to detail. Push your community toward continuous improvement. Instead of viewing them as difficult, recognize their value while setting appropriate boundaries. What these high-touch, high-expectation residents need to understand is that the board has acknowledged their concern but operates within specific constraints and priorities. Be proactive. Communicate your community's maintenance plan and budget limitations before issues arise. Don't wait until residents have raised the same concern multiple times to explain why your community won't or can't address it immediately. The board and resident may simply need to agree to disagree on priorities. While peeling paint might be urgent to them, your board may have higher priority safety issues to address first. Educate residents that in a world of unlimited finances, every concern would be addressed immediately. But your board needs to make responsible choices with limited resources. By consistently communicating your plan and constraints to all residents, you'll transform frustrated critics into informed advocates who understand the bigger picture. By establishing clear escalation paths, implementing consistent response systems, and valuing even your most demanding residents, your board can transform maintenance management from a source of conflict to a community strength. Start by reviewing your current process this month. Do residents know exactly what happens when they submit a request? Does your management company have clear guidelines on their authority limits? Have you proactively communicated your maintenance plan and priorities to all residents? These simple steps will help you build a more harmonious, well-maintained community that respects both resident concerns and fiscal responsibility. If you found this perspective valuable, we invite you to connect with us. Facebook viewers, like our page and follow us for regular updates. Feel free to message us directly with your questions or community challenges. Instagram viewers, hit follow and feel free to DM us with your questions or community challenges. YouTube viewers, subscribe to our channel and check out the video description for helpful links. Visit our website to discover our thought leadership content, books, and resources that can transform your community management approach. Whether you're dealing with the challenges we discussed today or other community issues, we're here to help. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.